However, Judge, back in 2003, when Bush normalized relations with Libya, that was fine. We should, as libertarians, of course, encourage the opening of business relationships and that kind of thing. But, of course, they didn't stop there, and they worked to send military aid, non-armament military aid from the Americans, and then they used the British to actually send weapons to Muammar Gaddafi. They can't stand to just be friends again on the normal level. They had to try to turn him into a Hosni Mubarak, one of our military puppets. So here we back the dictatorship in Tunisia and in Egypt and in Yemen and in Bahrain, but somehow our government is on the side of the people in Libya. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Well, here we go again. I got to tell you, I didn't know that, and like you, I monitor this stuff for a living. You're telling me that the American government, either directly or indirectly, has supplied Muammar Gaddafi with weaponry. That would be as reprehensible as the American government having supplied Hosni Mubarak, which with the tanks that we thought were going to kill people in Tahrir Square, but didn't. Question: do the Libyan people in the streets, who are literally fighting and dying in a civil war, do they know that the bullets being aimed at them came directly or indirectly from the government of the United States?
Well, through the history, most of Libya's military armaments have come from the Soviet Union and the Russians in the past. But yes, in the past few years, the Americans have been sending training and equipment and arranged for General Dynamics to sell a giant $100 million plus deal for helicopters to go to Muammar Gaddafi there. Whether the people of Egypt know that, or the people of Libya understand, apprehend those facts or not, I'm not certain, but they do know for sure, Judge, that America backs every dictatorship from Morocco to Iraq. That we're not on the side of the people of the Middle East. We never have been. We support the dictatorships in every country in the region.
Well, then is Hillary Clinton telling the truth? Is the President of the United States telling the truth when they call for Gaddafi to step down? Or do they want him to step down so that someone of like mind would replace him?
Sure, it's the same thing in Egypt. They didn't even hide it. It was on the front page of the New York Times. They were doing everything they could to keep Mubarak in power, and then failing that, they wanted his head of the secret torture police, Omar Suleiman, to take power. And of course, they want to, try to intervene in Libya in a way to, try to place a good bet on who's going to be next and see whether they can get in good with him. Same thing for Bahrain. If the protesters there or in Yemen, if they're successful in overthrowing the dictatorships we've been supporting thus far, of course they'll be trying to intervene as best they can to make sure to be friends with whoever's next.